Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 4th grade concept of converting units. This is standard 4.8b in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 21 off the 2019 released STAAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we have a table that shows number of feet and equivalent number of yards. So we see 12 feet equals 4 yards, 15 feet equals 5 yards. Kind of have this pattern here. 18 feet equals 6 yards, 21 feet equals 7 yards. But then we've got a chain that's 54, so we don't necessarily follow this pattern. And if we wanted to, we could use the table to figure out the rule, but we also could look at our mathematics chart. We see on our mathematics chart that 3 feet equals 1 yard. So that's what we know. Inside each of these yards right here, there are 3 feet. So most of us can tell that we're going to divide by 3 because our numbers are getting smaller. When we go from left to right, if the numbers get smaller, we're either dividing or we are subtracting. And subtracting doesn't work, so we're going to divide each of these by 3. And so it stands to reason then that we could probably do the same thing with that 54. We need to see how many yards of chain does Nathan have. We're going to start with feet. And so let's draw a strip diagram here. We have our total here of 54 feet. And we know that inside each of those feet, we've got little chunks of 3. We can rename each chunk of 3 as a yard. And our question is how many chunks of 3 can we get out of that 54? So that is our question. How many 3's go in there? We might know our 3's. Right? We might say 3 times something equals 54. I know my 3's, but I don't know them that far up. I know them up to about 36. So probably long division is going to help us. And typically when we think of long division, it's going to be something, you know, that's larger, like 3 digits, maybe even 4 digits, but we still need it here. So does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? So that's the little saying that I use to remind myself of the steps in long division. First we divide, then we multiply, then we subtract, we check, and then we bring down. We just do this as many times as we need to until we run out of numbers to divide. So let's start with dividing. We divide our divisor right here into our dividend, but we start with 1 digit at a time. We look, can 3 go into 5 without going over? Yes. 3 goes into 5 one time. We make sure we put our 1 right over our 5. We're ignoring the 4 at this moment. So then we multiply 1 times 3. Well, 1 times 3 is 3. Then we subtract. 5 minus 3, that's 2. Now this check is extremely important. This difference right here has to be smaller than your divisor. If it is equal to or greater than your divisor, you did not divide it up. You're going to have to go back and change that 1 into a 2 or 3 or whatever. But 2 is smaller than 3, so we are good to go. And now we bring down this 4. We only bring down 1 digit at a time, so there's only 1 digit left. If we happen to have another digit outside that 4, we would still only bring down 1 digit at a time, and then we start again. 3 divides into 24 8 times, and that's going to go evenly, so that's 9. 8 times 3 is 24. We subtract. That leaves us with 0, so there's no remainder. So check, is 0 smaller than 3? Absolutely. Nothing to bring down, which means it looks like our answer is 18. We can always verify by seeing if it works right there. Let's do our 18 times 3, and that is going to be 8 times 3 is 24. 3 times 1 is 3. Add that 2 is 5. And so that does make sense. So we can say that 54 feet is the same as 18 yards. And our answer here is C.